I guess lost my internet. Welcome back. Let's give some time for people to show up here again, see if we're going to get people back in here or not. I hope we do. I hope we do. Yeah, when did it cut out, guys? When did it go? So yeah, I didn't. It just I lost internet at the house for just a second, and it interrupted the stream. So I lost everything. Lost everything. All right. Middle of the ship battle. Oh, come on. Right after I summoned the Hound's Tooth. Oh, man, that's a bummer. All right, so here's the net result. My rank, number 1. We worked our way through that. We got rid of the silencer. We got rid of his spy. And then we worked our way through the last reinforcement. So yeah, I did get it, boys. We got it. We got number 1 rank in fleet. My fleet is so good, it broke the internet. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Nabokov says, minor news for the stream. We shut down the account review for a period while we catch up. We have a note on there regarding missing info, so anybody who requested, please check the Discord. Justin Blazing. Hi, Darth. I stopped to here for my first stream from you. I watch your videos and excited. I can see what you got planned now for your free-to-play account. Yeah, cool. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Could you stream Territory War if your guild is fine with it? I don't know. I did some research the other day and I found out that I could not find a way to do airplane mode on BlueStacks unless I disconnect the internet. So those things are mutually exclusive. If I stream the Territory Wars in BlueStacks, I can't shut off the internet or I won't be streaming. And I can't, in good conscience, I can't go into the guild event and not be on airplane mode and mess up my teammates. I suppose I could ask and see if they're okay with it. Well, there's some trash on the front wall here. We should definitely be able to do some of them without too much problem. Like this team right here, this has got to be a team that we can pretty easily get with our troopers, right? Let's see. I'll ask them in the background, and if they're cool with me doing it, then we'll do some battles. All right, let's take a look here. Well, Bats is in the channel. Bats is an officer. You tell me, Bats, if he's still in here. I'll just ask, is it okay if I stream some fights as long as I clean up my messes? So I don't know. Nobody should have a problem with me streaming it if I go back around and clean up my messes, right? So if I leave something, Yeah, Bat says that's fine. Okay, ship battle. And then we'll go in there and we'll mess around a little bit in territory wars. So, yeah, can you surrender? Well, of course you can surrender, but the problem is, and this is what messes people up. When you go against certain teams and they get the leg up on you and they have turn meter mechanics, there are moments where you're in control and then one of their characters gets to go and then you're done. And your entire team gets wiped out before you get another turn. You can only forfeit if it's your turn. So if the enemy team just goes and 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 kills all your guys, you're done. You don't have a chance to forfeit. And if you can't close out of the app fast enough or shut it down, then the enemy team kills you. Darth Revan is famous for that, you know. The Revan team gets away from you for half a second and your team's just dead. So that's how you get preloaded turn meter, and that's how your guild gets very angry at you because you don't kill a single character, and then you've got a Darth Revan team with fully loaded turn meter, and that is just ridiculous to try to kill. So I'm good to stream territory war battles. So I do want to get a little better placement in my main fleet. So I'm going to do this. And then we'll go do some territory wars. Nabokov says, we thank you, Batsis. All right, let's get rid of the Valor on him. It's not too big of a deal, but it is something. Then I think I'm going to do the skill over here on him, get a target lock going. Then we're going to pull an assist and try to get... Oh, he's dazed. Not paying attention to the dazes. All right, we'll get turn meter going. We got to get our plow in here to solve this problem. Get our plow, problem solver extraordinaire. Put the taunt up. 17,000 tanks we got to deal with. I think I already beat Bats' fleet. Did I already beat your fleet today, Bats? I don't remember. All right, we'll just keep the speed going on shuttle. Not in a good position to pass over turn meter at the moment. We got to get a big hit on this Hound's Tooth and take him out. Let's do this again. Get offense up again. Evan Bob Squarepants. Hey, man. Good to see you. All right, let's take out this Hound's Tooth. One shot, done. Get back over on fives. I think we got this. Yeah, we'll pass it back over and take out Clone Sergeant. Fives is already stunned. Now his plow, get him out of here. Select auto. You slapped me a while ago. Nice. Is the game free for download on PC? I don't know. I've always started accounts on devices. I'm playing right now on an emulator called BlueStacks. Evan Bob, you got BlueStacks? I think you can download it just straight up on BlueStacks. I think so. I think you can start an account that way and, link it to a Google account or whatever you need to do. All right, I got to take a look at something here real quick. Okay. Checking out my energy on my other account just to make sure that I don't cap out on my energy. I've got my Vader ready to relic. That's good. Always like to have fun stuff for the weekly video. So this weekly video will be Vader getting reliced. All right, let's make sure I'm in the right place over here. And we'll go to Territory Wars. All right. Let's see what we got here. We do have a Darth Revan team that we could mess around with here. We've got another one here. We've got a Mon Mothma team here that we could work on. We've got some clones. Look at this juicy team here. That team, look, so big. I love coming in here and finding teams like this, the 118,000. That's pretty good. The team's not that great, though. So if this was a fully kitted out team with Zetas and stuff like that, you would expect it to be like 130 or something. But we can come in here and trooper this team. And I always think it's fun to trooper me some resistance teams. All right, let's target resistance hero. It's just a bunch of lame guys. Let's see. Let's just do Holdo first. And we've got so much turn meter over them that we're not even going to use his good skill first. We're going to do that. And then we're just going to rely on our extra turn meter that we're going to get from all this other stuff. And then we'll drain turn meter on his second turn. This is overkill. I feel bad. This is like, feels kind of like kicking a puppy almost, you know. You just don't want to do it. It feels bad. Man, I could have done this with 3 of these troopers, I think. Easy win. Too easy. Too easy. You guys want to see a challenge. You don't want to see that kind of stuff. That backroom brawl. All right, here's gas. Here's a gas that's not too fancy. So let's try a gas counter. Well, never mind. My best gas counter uses that Moff Gideon, and I just burned him up. All right, 5s is a straight tank. And then let's look at Rex. Oh, that's different gas. We want to look at Rex. Rexy. How fast is Rex? Not fast. 224. That's Echo. I'm not looking at Rex. What? The Rex is not relict? These clone faces all look the same to me. All right, so 239, so 240, and he gets 16% on top of that. So 280-ish. 280-ish. That's cutting it close. 280-ish. I don't know if I get my contract off in time. I think I do. But I'll take a big hit before I win. All right, we're going to try it. And if we mess it up, then we'll clean up our mistakes. So we'll do this. $240 plus 35 plus 30. Where's he getting the 35? Where's he getting the 35 from? I mean, on a Shock T team, then yes. Well, it's not Shock T leadership, though, right? It's General Anakin Skywalker that we're looking at. What am I looking at? Yeah, it's gas. Gas is the leader. We don't have the we don't have the Shock T leadership to provide any bonuses. At least I would hope. If we're getting Shock T leadership with gas in the lead, or am I looking at this wrong? Now you guys got me confused. This is General Skywalker, right? Yes, it's General Skywalker. All right. I don't want to be on stream doing any more dumb stuff than I have to. Okay. Here we go. So we'll put Taunt up we'll do the mass assist here. Get a bunch of stuff, or a sing goes. And we don't want, no, we don't want gas to sit. Disaster. It's a disaster, folks. We did not want that gas to sit. Oh, no. Now what are we going to do? Let's see. Where's fives? We got to work on fives. He's going to stand up and go crazy on us. Yeah, man. Okay, we're still in it. We're still in it. We're still in it. All right. Let's get him down to protection at least. And then now we're going to evaporate. What? How's that on cooldown? Oh, what? What does he do that puts me on cooldown? I guess it's that Skywalker skill. All right, we'll do this. I'm locked out. All right, we're going to have him sit down. Then we're going to kill fives here. I think we're going to kill fives. Wow, that just, it went all wrong because Anakin sat down too fast. It's weird that that team is actually better because Anakin is weak. All right. Well, let's look for a different target to play with then. We could do triumvirate. We could do triumvirate there and just crush him with triumvirate. We've got this Mon Mothma team here that we could play with. We do have a Shock T-led clones here. We've got a Traya team. So let's see. CLS beat this? Can I beat this with just a CLS team? I don't know. I don't know. Bat says, thank you for not TM loading. Yeah, no, we got out of there in time. I feel like we've got teams to beat this, right? But I don't want to go ahead and throw away a bunch of good teams now and then reveal a bunch of stronger teams in the back, and then, you know, we don't have anything to go against those teams. So I don't want to throw away good teams against bad teams. Seems like a equation for causing problems for us. I don't know, since he's so weak, what do you think about taking in like a Mon Mothma team or something like that? We could potentially do this Mon Mothma team and see what we get. Have you ever done JKR versus enemy CLS? No, I'm not terribly familiar with that matchup. Not familiar with that matchup. All right. So I think we have enough to kill fives, right? So as long as we can get in there and kill fives behind the Anakin, we're good. I don't know. That seems dicey. The problem is when Anakin stands back up, he goes kind of bonkers. So you really got to be able to kill all of his clones while he's down. So what team do we have that can kill all of his clones? Vader, probably. We could do a CLS team with like good characters and beat it that way. I don't know. Maybe we're just out of luck fighting that team. Got a lot of stuff that can beat it. I just don't want to use it. I don't want to use Vader or Sith Eternal or Triumvirate. I don't want to use my good teams to beat it. That's the problem. It's not enough of a threat for me to want to use that good stuff. All right. Yeah, this is my main account, Evan Bob. This is the account that's got all the good stuff. All right. Well, let's triumvirate this. I don't know. Triumvirate's not very good at the CLS matchup or the gas matchup. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that for other people in my guild to deal with. Somebody else can deal with that. Let's see. What do we got here? Shakti clone team. I really want to play this Mon Mothma team against the clone team. I want to try this because I think we've got some mechanics that could make this work. So I'm going to try this just for the funsies. They'll go first and they'll probably kill one of my little guys, but that's fine. I think we'll recover from there. All right. Yep, they're killing my little guys. Killing my pow-pow. All right, we got a taunt up now, though, so that's good. Start getting in some counterattacks and doing what we need to do. Let's just get fives. Take care of him. This isn't a Relic clones team, so I don't feel too scared. And then we can get Shakti next. Blind on everybody. Throw some grenades. They're going after my Hoth guy. All right, we'll just keep assisting. They get a lot more turns than us, but we don't mind too much. All right, K2, do your thing. Get over there. Get our offense up, back up. So the way this team works, for anybody who hasn't watched me play it before, this is a tenacity team. I just got tons of tenacity, so I can't get debuffed. The two support guys help get turn meter. Three Baka over here, Chupio, whatever you want to call him. He does all the damage, and K2 tanks everything for days. So it's a fun team. K2 is thick. Yeah, he's a good character. I like him a lot. I think people underestimate him. So you think I could take my Jedi Knight Revan team against this? But I hate taking a team with a bunch of relics against a team with just a bunch of Gear 12s. So how would I play this? If I played my Revan team against this team, what would that look like? Who do I go for first? I think you got to just mark Chewbacca and kill Chewbacca, right? Isn't that the right first move? Just get Chewbacca out of there, cut down the assists, get rid of his guard. Is that right? Have you tried a different Rebel fighter in that slot and shift Chupio over to your CLS team? It's too easy. Everybody does that. Psh, whatever. Yeah, of course, Chupio is awesome on the CLS team, but when your CLS is Gear 12, the ability to share stats is less appetizing. So when I get my Relic on my CLS and have him, Relic 7 or whatever, I may put Chupio over there, change around my Mon Mothma team a little bit. But for now, Mon Mothma is Relic 5, and it's much better for him sharing her stats on that team. And it's a fun team. I like it. Chewbacca is the first target. Okay. Evan Bob calls you Mala Lisa. You got to change your name, buddy. I can show you that here in a second. All right, let's go in here with this CLS team. And find Chewbacca over here. Let's, who do we want to send? Yoda? I think we want to send Yoda first. We'll send Yoda. And we'll hit everybody with Yoda. This is too easy. Too easy. All right, translation. Everybody is under stealth? I think that's a mistake on your part, R2. Given every single person stealth except C-3PO, and then he gets stealth. Who would think that the AI would make a mistake like that? Oh, wait. Everybody. All right. Too easy. Not even a challenge, this. The game thinks... interesting. So, Evan Bob, if you go out here and click on this on your profile and try to change your name this way, edit your name, does that work? So if you're trying to change your name through your link, that may not work. But if you click up here in the corner, look at your profile, pencil beside your name, or at least that's how I changed my name. So hopefully that's all that's needed. We need another ship battle over here, I think. I think I got 2 more to go, right? 1 more ship battle to go. This guy, I tell you what, I got to play 2 in a row. Okay. We've got this guy on our server that refuses to join the chat and be part of the basic concept of how you allow people you allow other people the chance to have placement. So this guy plays like all day, and I will swear he spends like 400 crystals a day just making sure that he doesn't lose rank in fleet. It's the weirdest thing. Like, it's nonsense, this guy. But for some reason, he thinks it's important not to let people to beat him. So basically, anybody that beats him that he can beat, as soon as you beat him, he comes back in and takes your rank away from you. And it's not that he's climbing. He just does it like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I don't know what his deal is. I think it may actually be that he's like, I'm not going to be part of the fleet shard, so I'm going to make sure that I am not part of the fleet shard. Like, I'll show you guys. So, yeah, it's nonsense, but what are you going to do? So in order to avoid that, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to beat him and then immediately play another matchup to work around him. Otherwise, he'll just try to beat me again. Because the First Order fleet, as good as I think it is for defense, she's not so good. Or good as it is on offense, not so good on defense. Easy to beat on defense. Oh, I guess he wasn't ready to be stunned. Looked like his turn meter was over half. Does he want you not to have the crystals? I don't know. You always got to think that it's some kid that really doesn't have any concept, or maybe a misguided concept of how to interact with other people. So, yeah, people have asked me about it before, about guild shard chats and stuff like that, and whether or not I think it's fair and reasonable. And I think it's exactly fair. I mean, you only need to be first place once a day. If you're first place during your payout, what do you care who wins the rest of the time? So to soften up your team and get out of the way and let people beat you and take first place, that not only does that seem right to me, it seems logical. Like why wouldn't you do that? I played a couple of matches out of turn one time before I joined the shard chat for Squad Arena, And I hadn't played for the day, and I was about to hit my reset time, and I wanted to try some new mods anyway. So I swapped out some mods, and I played a battle, and I won it. And, you know, these guys started, like, yelling at me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's there's reasonable, and then there's ridiculous. I mean, you don't go after people because they said that they were, you know, working on mods one time. But yeah, they threatened to never let me win again. And I'm like, okay, dudes, whatever. How do you join the fleet shard? Well, usually once a fleet gets, like whatever shard you're in, the arena shard gets developed enough, then somebody will develop a chat, and if you're one of the top players, they'll invite you to that chat. Usually you'll get invited. It's hard for fleet. In squad, you can actually see people and message them. In fleet, for whatever reason, it's harder to message people. But usually if somebody has started a chat and you're one of the top players, they'll find you. If you want to be the one that starts it, then you have to go through that process to try to track down people and get them all invited to a Discord chat. And then you just put up a bot, and the bot says what everybody's payout times are. And then you just look, and like there's 3 people with the same payout time as you, and you just avoid them. You don't hit them during your payout. If they're above you, you just don't beat them. You let them have the spot. All right, we'll ability block him. Bring in our reinforcement. Coming over here. Poof. Can you show the free-to-play account? Well, people were asking to see some stuff over here on my expensive-to-play account, so I'm doing that for right now. We can go back to the free-to-play here in a bit. Let's see. I don't think we have enough sauce to one-shot him yet. Nope. Okay, let's clear off some buffs. Just work on it. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Got dazes on everybody. Alright, we'll just do the area effect and be done with it. I don't really want to give more protection to that hound's tooth, but not much I can do about it. We're stuck until we get our next reinforcement. Let's see. Just basic. Okay, let's bring in the plow, get the taunt up on our little TIE fighter here. Then we'll steal his turn meter so he keeps taunt up for longer. And then I think this is it for Hound's Tooth. This silencer ramps up damage by 15% every time it takes damage or attacks an enemy with target lock. So over the course of the battle, you just keep feeding him turns. He takes damage from various things, and he ends up just doing sickening amounts of damage by the end of the matchup. That's how you just one-shot these guys for like 450,000 damage. His damage just gets ramped up through the roof. Mod farming seems like such a chore. It is a chore. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I like it. I have a very organized mind, right? So like getting in here and doing mods and organizing mods and knowing that I'm beating my opponent the whole time that I'm doing it. Like every time I succeed with a mod, I'm beating my opponents. And that makes it fun for me. It's like a mini game within the game, you know? All right, let's see what we got up here. We got a bunch of teams. A lot of relics. A lot of stuff that's much higher. I should have brought my troopers in against this team. Should have waited. Scouted a little more closely. All right, well, let's see if we can find a Padme team that doesn't have high potency. So this guy doesn't have a C-3PO. He does have Barriss. Let's check out his potency on this Anakin. See where we're at. 58% potency there. That's good. And then the rest of it's not relevant, right? So we can go in here with Kira Nest. Can't be used. My Kira is too small to be used in Galactic War, huh? Oops. In Territory War, I mean. That's disappointing. Darth Crate says hello. How we doing? Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I want to take in Nest without Kira though. That's an issue for me. So we don't really want to do that. What is my Sith Eternal counter here that's worth my time? Sith Eternal counters this this team, right? So if I go in against this full Relic team here with Wat Tambor, put in a tank to buy me some time. How much stuff do I need to put into this to beat this gas team? Not much, right? Do we actually need to put a serious team behind this? Because I'll put Anakin on his knees and he's just going to sit there for the whole fight, right? He's never going to stand back up because he has no protection. Isn't that the way it works? Bats wants me to save the Galactic Legend for other Galactic Legends. All right, that's fine. I can do that. There's not a lot of stuff here that I want to fight, though. This team from the Empire. What could we do against that? Do you think we could clone this? Just nuke this with our clones? Probably could. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that's dangerous. I don't want to use my Vader either for the same reason. I want to save my Vader for better teams. You can JKR that EP team. I just used my JKR. I beat up some rebels with it. Or that team with Vader. Okay. The Dark Lord of Sit does not take orders from a guild officer. Well, of course I do. Of course I take orders from a guild officer. So here's the thing about leadership, right? For anybody who wants a free lesson in leadership, even when you're a leader, you definitely also need to have skills as a follower. It's not, no one in their right mind can just always be the leader and always make decisions. There are times when you have to look at other members of your team and say, you know what? You're smarter than me. You make the decision on this and I'll go with it. I'll support you. You know, that's good leadership. You know, you can't be a leader and not also be a follower. And that applies to guild as well. You know, guild leaders should also follow their same guidelines, and guild members, I mean, regardless of who you are. And I know I'm lecturing on something that was a joke, but this is a thing in guilds, you know, when your guild says we want you to put your, like in territory battles, some guilds organize what you put in there, and they'll say, hey, you know, put your hound's tooth in for the territory battle. And you'll be like, oh man, come on, I want to use my hound's tooth. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that in there. You know, whatever. Don't worry about it. Do what your guild needs you to do. Do the teamwork thing. Put your hound's tooth in there and let other people do the battle, and that's fine too. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Vader wasn't the leader, so everybody can be a follower. Supporting those who need it is literally one of the most important things in life, genuinely. Yeah. A life choices stream. Man, I tell you guys, I like my job. I like helping people. But every now and then, somebody will come to me and they'll ask, like, real life questions. I had a kid one time who was like 22 years old, got his girlfriend pregnant, had a kid, and really wanted to take care of his family, but couldn't afford to buy a house. And he's like, man, I feel bad that I can't afford to buy a house. And I showed him a plan. I mean, I laid out a thing that he could do that would get him into a house in 3 to 4 years, without putting him in a bad spot with debt or anything else. And he was able to do that. And, on one hand, you say, okay, this guy was a successful employee. I'm glad I was able to help him be more successful in his job. But man, being able to help people like that and help them get ahead in life, that's even more fun, because then it doesn't matter what job he's in. Wherever he goes, he's going to be, he's got a house for his family. So. Watching this while building the Bat helicopter from DC in Lego. Oh, man. I had a lot of Legos when I was a kid. That was my thing. Well, I don't know. I don't see any teams that I really want to just fight in this territorial war at this point. I want to save some of my better teams for later. And we'll let some of my guild mates clear out that other stuff, seeing what's in the next zone behind, because don't want to get caught behind a bunch of galactic legends without something to help the guild here. So what am I farming over here? I got to get rid of some energy over here too. So I am working on Commander Luke. Well, can't get that. I'm working on the Emperor's stuff, so I only can spend on dark side, so the last piece I need there. We'll farm dark side stuff to get more tokens. And then for fleet stuff, let's see. I ran out of some low-level materials. What was that? Like the Mark IV book I ran out of. I can get that from fleet somewhere? Nope. Let's see. This gun, I can get that from fleet, right? So we'll get that from fleet. Use up some of that energy. And we'll do a request for that from the guild. Why not? And we'll switch over to the Loquitur account. We'll figure out my request for the day over here. I think I'm just going to request some of these. People are usually willing to give those up, and it's a good item to request. I can donate one of those. I've got 101. It's just enough to donate. Can't donate stun guns, though, boys. For anybody who does this and makes stun gun requests every day, I know you want the stun guns, but I feel like this is rude to your guild. There are people in the guild who want to hit this donate button. They want to complete those little donate quests. Give people stuff that's easy for them to give up. People don't mind giving up stuff like this, right? They do mind giving up Carbantes, stun cuffs, and stun guns, and yet every single day, that's what people put in their requests: Carbantes, stun guns, and stun cuffs. I'm going to tell you all right now in the stream, maybe it's rude, but I don't give people stun guns, stun cuffs, or Carbantes. I just don't. I need them for myself. And I mean, if I give them to you and you give them to me, then we've just got a circle of these things floating around to complete quests. And if you just wanted to complete quests, you'd be much better off asking for green gear and doing 10 at a time and completing the quest twice as fast. So it's nonsense. But again, it's just me. Your two accounts are in the same guild. Nope. No, and I did that on purpose. So what I'm trying to do with this whole thing, I'm trying to make an account that looks like what normal people could do. So I don't want to get a guild based on my main account or based on name recognition. So when I was looking for a guild, I just did it as a guy with an account who wants to get into a guild. And I got into this Rebel Alliance cadre, which is really a good guild. And they're higher galactic power in total than my main guild, but they're not as organized, and they don't have players with like as lean of rosters as what we have in in Revan's Remnants. So it's a higher galactic power guild, but not necessarily a higher performing guild, if that makes sense. But I mean, you're not going to argue the difference between 28 stars or 29 stars in the GOTB. So they're that close. But yeah, Loquitur got into an account just by, and here's what I did. I mean, it's not mystery. What I just basically told the guy, I know what I'm doing. If you look at my rosters, check out my geos. You know, we're going to have a geo squad that can get Wat Tambor shards pretty soon, and I'm focusing my roster, and I'm going to build a Padme team that'll be able to help out. And he said, well, I may need you to build that Padme team into something that can do challenge Rancor. That was the only thing that they said. And I said, okay, well, not anytime soon because I'm like 800,000 galactic power. And he said, that's fine. Come join the guild, work on your stuff, you know, build up your geos. And then, you know, probably at some point you have to build a Rancor team. So because of the requirements for the Sith Eternal Emperor, it probably makes even more sense if I build my Relic Troopers team. I can Relic Vader. I can Relic 3 Troopers. I already have a Relic Snow Trooper. So in that sense, I will have a team that can do Rancor. It won't do well. I'll bring it in second phase. I'll try to go fast enough that I can smash the door button before he gets a turn, do a bunch of damage, and then when the door goes up, he starts eating people. So it won't be a high damage squad, but I'll be able to get in like on a phase 2 and hopefully score like a million or so damage. And for, you know, an account that'll be like 1.5 million by then, I think that's okay. All right, let's check this out. Happy anniversary for your Loquitur account. Today is 6 months old. When do we expect the full review? So I'm working on that for this week. I'll be doing some of the video work today, and I'll be doing some of the video work tomorrow, but I'll be putting together that video, and it'll come out either Monday or Tuesday next week, hopefully. And I'll do kind of the reflections, the thoughts, the plan going forward. I probably won't spend too much time talking about the Grand Arena changes because they're not official yet, so I don't want to say, you know, hey, I'm going to change everything I'm doing with this account because of the Grand Arena changes. So that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, it'll. I hope that it'll be an interesting and reflective video for people, and eventually I do want to redo the guides for hyperdrive and free play starting accounts. I think, you know, we've managed to sharpen up some things, and the general advice as I've got it posted right now is good. If you do what's in that advice, it's not wrong, it's not bad, it'll help you build a good account. But I do think with the help of the Dark Council that we've kind of sharpened up that plan, and I'm going to present it kind of in terms of almost like chess moves, opening moves. And a lot of that's my Darth Loquitur account, what I found. For example, I was going to go for the CLS team early. I made plans for it. It was in my original plan. But, you know, putting the time, effort, and energy into the prerequisite characters, I found that I just didn't want to do it. Like I did not want to spend the resources to get those stars for those characters. And if that early in the game I'm not even willing to commit to it, then it tells me that it's probably a bad idea to tell other people to commit to it. So the early Rebels into CLS I don't think is a good move. And like I said, getting the Vulture droid for the early fleets, if you're going to go Geos, makes a lot of sense. I didn't really think of that. But you got to start hitting that Vulture droid like as soon as the node is available to you. So that's some of the stuff that we'll put into a new guide based on that stuff. Evan Bob says, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm enjoying watching. Cool, man. Thanks. Thanks. I'm glad you're able to watch. I hope everybody out there in Indiana is doing okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, Evan Bob is my nephew, and he's like the coolest kid in all of Indiana. I think he weighs like half of what I weigh, and he could probably kick my ass. He's been taking karate for like 23 years or something like that. And he's like super fast. So he's a cool kid. And plus, also, you don't want to mess with him. All right. The rank war is so much easier now. Yeah, the changes have helped a lot, letting people kind of do it at their own speed. Nabokov says, both accounts choose a character below Gear 10 that you wish was Relic 7. Huh. That's tough. Good challenge. So let's look at the Loquitur account. Do I have anybody on here? Well, I mean, for me, that's easy. I don't have 7 stars on him, but if I could just take Queel to Relic 7 and have a Relic 7 Queel, I'd do that in a heartbeat. There's this squad that I'm going to be building, which is basically you take the bounty hunters and you put in Queel. And let's see, where is he? I've got him unlocked, right? Come on, buddy. Where are you? Where are you? Should have just typed in his name at this point, right? And then who else do I have that's a bounty hunter? It's going to be Grief Karga, but I don't think I even have Grief Karga unlocked right now. I don't have any other bounty hunters. But it'll be this team plus Queel plus Grief Karga. Bosk will probably be taken to Gear 12. These guys will just be wherever they are. Queel will be Relic 7. And this team was going to act like a Relic level defensive team. It's going to be crazy hard for people to beat. Because once Queel shares out all of his stats with this Frontier Wisdom, at Relic 7, he gives everybody 40% of his health, offense, and potency, and 40% of his protection. He makes mediocre characters. He's going to give them each like another 2,200 offense or something like that. And they've only got 2,000 offense at this level to start with. So let's look at this guy. He's got like, what, 2,600 damage? Yeah, 2,000 damage. You add another 2,200 damage on top of this, and you've basically got a Relic level character for free. And Queel is going to do that to 4 other characters. So on this account, I would say, yeah, Queel, Relic 7 with the Zeta on, so that I could do my bounty hunter cha-cha. If I could magically make that happen, that's what I would do. And then for my main account, let's see, who would I really want on my main account if I could just poof anybody to Relic 7? I don't know. Rose Tico. That way I just wouldn't have to deal with any of it. I could just have her at Relic 7 and be done with it. And not have to. Like Emperor Palpatine or Sidious down here, right? When you're making Sidious and you're clicking this Relic button and you're like, upgrade. Oh, God, I've got to upgrade. Ugh. Like it's physically painful to put those materials there. So there you go. I'd do Tico just so that I don't have to go through the agony of clicking the Relic button on her. Chill stream number 2. Yeah, it's chill stream number 2 because apparently chill stream number 1 just busted in the middle. By the way, people haven't put the likes on chill stream number 2. So if you could get the likes on chill stream number 2, then I would appreciate that. Get the like sabers going. Probably won't relic him ever. Who do you want for the next Galactic Legends? And who are you taking? Oh, Vader to relic next. Who do you want for the next GLs? Oh, so, okay, I get it. I get the question now. So So you're asking, like, for the next round of 2 Galactic Legends, who am I hoping that it will be? Um, Selfishly, I so here's the thing. If you look at the current round of 4 Galactic Legends, it's all people that are Galactic Legends because of the last series of movies. And I I'm still debating whether or not they're going to continue to take that as Galactic Legends are only those characters that have gone the distance and are actually Galactic Legends. So if they stick with that theme, you do have the potential for a Galactic Legend, um, Leia, out of the last movie, and for the bad guy, potentially a Galactic Legend for one of the, I don't know, one of the generals or something like that that was in the last movie. So I don't know if they stick with that theme of Galactic Legends being characters from the last movie, then I think it's going to be Leia and somebody from the dark side. If they are willing to change that and make it like, Anakin right before he becomes Vader as the dark side and Kenobi as the good guy, I think that's what a lot of people want. Some people are speculating Darth Maul because he does have a pretty extensive plot line in the Clone series. And, it could be the Galactic Legend Darth Maul with half a body and mechanical legs and whatnot. So I don't know. I really haven't thought about it. I feel like Thrawn and Ahsoka are almost the logical next 2 Galactic Legends. And even though they haven't, put out the Ahsoka show yet, um, I feel like that could be the case. So I don't know. It's all conjecture, but I maybe not as excited for the new Galactic Legends as other people might be. And if you have to relic all the new characters, so if they make it so that the either the Bad Batch or the Mandalorian characters are the ones that you have to relic to get the Galactic Legends, then that'll put it on ice for me because I really don't want to have to prepare a bunch of characters that are single shard drops right now. But we'll see. I do have the Mandalorians done, and I unlocked the Beskar armor Mando on my main account just because there were so many feats that said, complete this with a Beskar Mando in your team. So, I've just got him. I've just got him unlocked, basically. No mods or anything, just unlocked. Lord Vader and Master Kenobi. Better be Maul, says Nabokov. Vader and Leia. You don't see Leia being a Galactic Legend. The fan base loves Leia. People just love her character, so whether or not you think she's worthy of being a Galactic Legend, I think a lot of people would like to see it. So that may be something that they pander to. Just saying that everything released from Mando content forward ties into Bad Batch, Clone War, and a variety of things which involve Maul and Kenobi. Yeah, could be. Justin Blazing says if it's a Galactic Legend, Kenobi, drop everything. I will drop everything to get to him. Galactic Legend Force Ghosts. Galactic Legend Grogu, Baby Yoda. Nice. Yeah. I think that it's hard for them to ever put Grogu into the game as a character because the idea that the opposing team is going to come across and stun you and be like physically beating up and killing a character that's technically a baby is not very appealing to them. so I think it does make it hard to justify having a Grogu as I'm just going to hold it on this screen for a second and just savor this #1 fleet victory here with my 400 crystals and my 1800 fleet currency. So wonderful. Yeah. Like it when we can get that. All right. Did we spend fleet energy over here? I think we did. Yeah, we spent fleet energy. I think we've been going for these. We've got 10 of them. We've got lots of them. that was our play for the week, was to get these. So we got plenty of them to crunch up at the scavenger. We're good to go. All right. Galactic Legend Frog Lady. I don't see people paying for Leia. I see a lot of people paying for Kenobi or Maul. Yeah, I mean, business-wise, that probably makes more sense. Those characters might attract more in-game spending. If they added the man who killed younglings, I think Grogu is okay. Well, you can add in a lot of things that are implied, right? But if you add in an actual baby Yoda that's getting punched in the face in the game, not sure how that feels to people. Has the stream turned into an audiobook? Huh? I don't know. What am I looking at? What did I do wrong? I think I was on the right screen. Oh, I wasn't on the Loquitur screen while I was savoring the #1 victory. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay, well. Nice. Grogu's 50 years old, so he doesn't count as a child. Nice. Thoughts on farming up Mon Mothma in addition to the Geos? I love it. I mean, that is still going to be part of my long-term strategy on the Loquitur account. So if you can build 2 squads, is there a way for us to even look at Grand Arena right now? I don't think we can even see much in here, right? But yeah, so we just have to imagine the 4 squares. So if you imagine the 4 squares of Arena, right, and you take bottom front, and you look at the bottom rear, bottom back zone, and the top front zone, if you put Mon Mothma top front and Geo's bottom in the back, you can really mess with opponents, right? You put any team in the bottom front that's hard enough for them to beat, to pull like their best team, their arena team. And then you leave them facing Mon Mothma and the Geos. And again, this is like when your account is a little more mature and the teams are a little further along, right? So let's say you have a good team like the Padme team or something like that they're going to have to beat with their best team. And then your second and third defenses are the Mon Mothma and the Geos. They only get one, and they're always going to take the one in front of fleets so that they can get to fleets. And you can hold a zone like that so often. It's harder, even at higher galactic powers, it's harder to, like, if you show them the Mon Mothma and the Geos at the same time, it's hard. The other thing that you can do is you can put the Geos in the bottom front and force them to use their counter team, and then have the Mothma team on the back behind it, and that way you've already forced out the counter. So either way, having those 2 teams and being able to make your opponent make a choice, or forcing them to use up their good team, let's say they've got a good Traya, and Traya's going to beat either one of those teams pretty soundly, and then you fool them into playing their Traya, and then the other team gets a hold. Relic the Vader on stream. Well, then I'll lose that for the video. I won't have that for my update video. So nope, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to watch him be reliced on the update video. That'll get me some more views and likes over there. If you see me relic him here, then it's that's gonna be 82 views that I'm not gonna get on my stream, on my next video. The suspense. I'm just gonna make you wait. You want to see Wrecker smashing Grogu's face with a clanker? Dang, that's brutal. Evan Bob Squarepants says, "What is a relic?" Well, let's explain that. Maybe somebody will need to know it someday. So when they originally started this game, they had characters that needed gear and you put the gear on the characters. And as you put on this gear, your characters go up to new gear levels, gear 10, gear 11. And then finally, I think later they added on gear 12. So you see these guys with the gold border, that's gear 12. And then once people started getting all their characters to gear 12, they had to try to figure out another way to make the game go longer. So they put in this gear 13, and then every character has a relic. And this relic can be taken up any level between 1 and 8. There's 8 levels of relics right now. So the challenge is to get your characters all the way up to relic level. So when we talk about relics, those are characters that are, let's say, finished. You get the relic on them, you get them up there, and they're finished. Takes a long time to relic a character, Evan Bob. You'll be playing the game for probably 4 months before you get a relic character. This game takes a long time to play. It's one of those games that you have to play for years and years to be excellent. Copying your technique and just bringing the pilots to Gear 13 and Relic 1. So far, Sunfac, Vader, and Jedi Knight Anakin. That's cool. Get them pilots going. If Mon Mothma team, what is your recommended combo? So, back when I used to think that I wanted rebels, and again, this is a very important thing to say. If you want to build a rebel fleet, which I thought I wanted to do, you can make a Mon Mothma team with Biggs, Wedge, Cassian, and K2. And that, I think, is one of the best Mon Mothma teams that you can build. These guys can go fast, they hit hard, you've got a tank, you've got a debuffer, and Mon Mothma just keeps everything running. I am no longer a fan of the Rebel fleet early game. Late game, if you want to build the Rebel fleet, it's an amazing offensive fleet. But early game, there's just a better route with the Geos into the Malevolence. There's a better route with the Jedi into the Negotiator. So I end up, again, because I'm playing this account at this level and kind of seeing what those decisions feel like, I don't want the Rebels anymore. So what I'm going to do with my Mon Mothma, I still intend to build a Mon Mothma team on this account, but I'm going to do it with Mon Mothma, K2, Cassian, and then we'll bring in Jyn Erso as the 4th, and we'll do Chupio as the 5th. And then basically we can have these guys at a pretty mediocre level. We'll build up the tank. We'll build up Mon Mothma. Chupio will share the stats. Mon Mothma will share the stats. So you'll have double sharing, and you'll just have, those 3 from the Cassian's U-Wing ship, Mon Mothma, and Chupio to spread the stats. And it's a team that can function well with only Mon Mothma being a big character. But eventually then she has to go to Relic to make that team work. And you can leave the other guys at Gear 10, whatever, and that team will be perfectly functional because of the sharing with Chupio. And Chupio himself will probably be like, 3 stars, Gear 9. You don't have to do anything to him. And again, it's just to make that team a threat. It'll be roughly the same threat level as the Geos, and it'll probably be a total of 70 to 80,000 galactic power. So that's what I'm thinking with my current. And that also, if I build the Jyn Erso out, that also gets me a better Cassian's U-Wing. So then instead of just being a reinforcement that pretty much dies immediately, it can be a reinforcement that actually stays as a viable ship, which is good. That's how it works in my First Order fleet, and I think it'll work well. So, but we're a ways off because the bounty hunters need more work. The troopers definitely need to get up to get worked on for the next rounds of Grand Arena. They're fine for this next round. So this next round I should be in Division 9. And I'm fine where I'm at now. But for the next round of Grand Arena, I need some more of these troopers to be reliced. So I've got to sink my efforts into building up some of these teams that I've already got before I can really start working on these other guys. So a lot of stuff ready to go that just has to sit and wait, and it'll come in its own due time. At Darth Loquitur, how do you feel about Cara Dune double shard drops now? Okay. I mean, I feel like she's a good character, but I've never been blown away by her in certain areas. Like if you're doing a team with Cara Dune as a rebel, and she's in with the against the Empire teams in an assault battle or something like that, then she goes crazy, right? She's absolutely nuts because she keeps stunning people and taking away turn meter and doing all kinds of good things. But as a character, I mean, I don't know. I think she's okay, but I'm not impressed. I don't put her as a recommendation in a lot of my teams. If other people feel differently, I mean, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Let me see how you guys feel about Cara Dune. If you think that's a character everybody should be going for. How close to Big Red is Big Red to Gear 12? He's not far, but I'm not going to Gear 12 him because of this stuff I need on other characters. That's the problem. He's pulling from the same gear pool as the stuff that other people need. This is needed by a bunch of characters that I want to level. So, yeah, if I Gear 12'd him, I'd be taking too much food out of everybody else's mouth right now. He's doing his job. He's hitting hard. He's doing damage for the Vader team. Once Vader is up and running at Relic level, he becomes less relevant because the Vader team will run pretty much on its own. So we'll see what we want to do with Kylo and the Sith Trooper as we go along. They're a fun little team, and you can do Kylo, Sith Trooper, and then just 3 other Sith. So like Sith Marauder and Dooku, for example, can go in that team, and he'll still assist off of all of the Sith. So we'll probably make a different team out of that once Vader's up and running. But he won't get Gear 12 until some of these other characters get Gear 12, especially the guys that I have to relic for the C stuff. Stark is definitely getting his next level up. That's a button that I'm going to push before any other buttons because I need him to get Gear 12 so that I can relic him so that I can get the speed, because I definitely need to keep working on his speed. I would do it for Piett, but we're still working on his shards. We still got, 146 shards to go on him, so it's be a while before he gets reliced. That's literally like 3 more months of farming that I have on Piett. It's oppressive. It feels like forever. And then at some point I have to start farming Krennic too, so that I don't lose out on the Krennic. I'm doing decent on my TIE Bomber. Where are we at on the TIE Bomber? Yeah, we got 111 already on the TIE Bomber, so we need, what do we need there? 230 total on the TIE Bomber to get that where it needs to be. What's the inspiration behind your name for Darth Loquitur itself? Well, actually, Arnold saw it right away. So there's a legal term called res ipsa loquitur, and in Latin it means the facts speak for themselves. So as a manager, there's been safety issues before where people have tried to lie about it. And I'll tell you, the one that I think started this all, there was a tool that had been put into a machine. And I was talking to the guy, and I'd given him a disciplinary action and telling him that if he did that kind of stuff again, he was going to get fired. And he said, I didn't put the tool in the machine. and I'm just sitting there going, okay, the tool was new this morning. I have your signature that you went and you got the tool. You're the only one that used the tool. The tool is right here, and it has marks on it where the machine cut into the tool from being put into the machine. Res ipsa loquitur. right? Like the facts speak for themselves. I don't care what words come out of your mouth. You can say anything that you want to say, but the facts, it's the truth, right? Like I can see the truth right in front of me. And that's where, I don't know, I was talking to somebody or whatever, and they said, look, there's a legal term for that. There's a legal term that says, like, we don't even have to try this case in court because the facts themselves are so obvious that that we don't even need to discuss the pros and cons. It's what it is. And that's where I heard that legal term. And when I made my channel, I actually this was my intent for my original channel name. This was my original channel name, Gray Side. So I said, yeah, not light side, not dark side. I'm going to play both of them, and it'll be Gray Side, right? Do you know how many Gray Sides there are out there? There's like Gray Side Star Wars. There's a Gray Side band. There's like if you look up Gray Side on YouTube, you wouldn't even find me. So that's where I said, okay, well, let's just make it Darth Talks, Darth Speaks. So that's Darth Loquitur. I don't know. I needed a name, and what I originally wanted was taken. So there you go. That's it. Now, because, like I said, it's a legal term. And there was a video that Arnold put out the other day where it was mentioned that the website pulls from a bunch of different content creators, and my name was in there. And as soon as he read the name Darth Loquitur, he's like, I wonder if he's a lawyer. So no, not a lawyer, engineer, but close enough. Is Piett good at sub 7 stars? He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal at any stars. All you have to do is have him with some speed mods on him and use his Imperial Ambition and get the... why am I blanking on the name of this? His Zeta. Emperor's Trap. You just put the Emperor's Trap on him, and as long as he can hide behind other people and stay alive, what the Emperor's Trap adds to your team is worth a whole character. Even if he's useless, even if he does no damage, all he has to do is sit there and have Emperor's Trap, and he's worth building, putting on a team. Yep. And sometimes you can even play him with Vader, as I understand it. You can put Piett with Vader. I don't know. Some guy in my channel keeps telling me that works. Have you talked to Arnold? No, well, I don't know. I don't mean to sound too negative when I say this, but I'm beneath Arnold's notice. Like I don't feel like I'm that important of a streamer as that Arnold would have noticed me yet. So yeah, I mean, if Arnold ever wants to reach out to me and do something, I'd be more than happy to do it. But I'm not gonna like go on his Discord and try to find him and be like, Arnold, put me on your stream. I don't know. If I get noticed, that's cool. Otherwise, it's what it is. But it does feel pretty nice to have your name up on the screen on his channel, so that's cool. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Your name made me realize why the Borg called Picard Locutus. Yeah, the mouthpiece. Put him with the Zeta and use him with Vader. Oh, there's Nabokov. He got in his Vader comment. Yeah, phew. Would have been bad if that would have been missed. I feel like every Swigo YouTuber is super smart, like they're all engineers or lawyers. Every YouTuber is confident. I think that's what you need. You need to have the self-confidence to put yourself on screen and not second guess the things that you're saying, and just be able to talk and know that you're going to make mistakes and not like lose your self-confidence over a few mistakes. I mean, hell, I forget to switch the screen at least once or twice a stream, and I still do it. I mean, I feel like you guys must forgive me at least a little bit, and I just keep going. So maybe those professions attract people with more confidence, but that's all you need. You just need to have the confidence to say, I really don't care what people think. I'm just going to do my thing, and it'll sound smart. That's a lie. You can't use Piett with Vader because you've already used him with troopers. Nice. Once we get Scout Trooper, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the troopers. I don't know. We do need another trooper to fill out that Imperial Remnant team, right? We've only got 4 Remnants so far. So we definitely need something else. Raymond Rudgigan says, hi from Norway. Nice. Christian asked, how did we meet AP Gaines? We met on Tinder. That was quick, man. That was quick response. No, we did the collab with the with the playbook, and during the collab, we just kind of talked a little bit, and then people on his channel were AP does a lot of collabs, so he asked, who should I collab with, and a lot of people on his channel and on his Discord said that they wanted to see him collab with me, so that's kind of how we met. I guess it was actually before we did the playbook, so we were assigned that playbook, and so I knew he was on there, and then he reached out to me before we did it, and he's like, hey, people on my channel want us to do something together, so. And then when we got talking, like he's fun to work with because, like somebody said in the comments, he and I have very different personalities, but I think we play pretty well off of each other. So, yeah, I like working with him. He's fun. Civil engineering manager? Nah, chemical. I'm a chemical engineer. Got the chemistry and the biochemistry stuff going on. I'm not in the chemical industry anymore. I've moved away from that and do the management side of things more. But yeah, chemistry and chemical engineering is my background. Let's see. Both are new content creators. Yeah. Yeah, AP and I are both trying to help newer players. That's definitely something that we have in common. We're trying to give people hope, steer people away from the squad arena where, like, if you get into the game and you think that the point of the game is to win squad arena, you're just going to be sad and frustrated and quit the game, or you're going to feel like you need to spend $6,000 to beat the other guy that spent $5,000, which isn't fun. So we're just trying to make content where people can see there's a lot of different stuff in the game to play. There's a lot of different game modes, and do that, have fun with that, and you'll build up your squad arena placement at some point when you get your good first team or your galactic legend, and then you'll catch up. And that's the truth of it. All these guys that spend tons of money to be at the top of squad arena, a free to play player eventually gets his galactic legend and knocks you off that throne. May take a year, but yeah, eventually that's still accessible. All right, look at the account review for Allura way back when. Underdogs freeing up full squads elsewhere. Yeah, but I have a different view, I think, on underdogs than you do, Nabokov. I think you're willing to swing with an underdog as long as you have a feeling like it's going to work. But a lot of times, if I think, okay, if I take in an underdog team and I lose protection on 3 characters, or I could take in a 5-man team and beat the other team without them ever taking a turn, that's 59 versus 60. Do I really want to save those 2 characters, or do I just want a safe win and 60 banners? And a lot of times I just default to the team that's going to get me the sure thing. And I don't feel like I'm going to run out of teams anyway, or like, oh my God, I wish I had those 2 characters. Because I lack roster depth at the top of my account, like I've got good teams, but I don't have like a good clone teams and a good Shakti and a good, Galactic Republic where I can mix and match, and those characters that I save can make another team. A lot of times if I save 2 characters out of a 5-man team and I underdog it with 3, those 2 just become floating characters that I can't really use anyway. So we definitely have a different view on the whole, how much stuff should be underdogged, and I do tend to underdog where I'm confident that it's going to be a banner, high banner victory, And a lot of times I will take in 4 or 5 characters just to make sure that I get a win without losing protection. I mean, that's the point, is to maximize the banners that you do get in. 60 versus 64. Yeah, Nabokov, I know what you were talking about with exactly, 2 or 3 characters that float in between things. But you have to have the characters to do that. So like if I go to my roster now and I say, okay, I'm gonna float rebels, right? Like I'm gonna do a CLS team with only 3 rebels and then float some rebels. I don't have rebels. Look at this. I just get garbage, right? So once I get past the 3 rebel team with CLS, Han, and Chewie, all I've got is the K2SO, Chewbacca, and Mon Mothma. That's 2 teams. I can't really underdog Mon Mothma by dropping off more characters. I'm already planning to underdog with CLS, Han, and Chewie, and that's it. So I don't have the options, like I'm saying, to do as many of those little 2 and 3 team things because I don't have enough characters built out with that flexibility. Sith, I'm pretty much where like I can use Triumvirate. I can place a Sith team on defense with a bunch of Sith, but I don't have this Bastila. I don't have the set tank done yet. No Malak, no Revan. So my flexibility within these teams, if I underdog it, it's not. I don't have that good of flexibility with those 2 and 3 man teams yet. One thing I disagree with about your free-to-play account is rushing towards C. Oh, I will very much enjoy this discussion. So, Justin Blazing, just if you could type in the chat and tell me why it is that you think that that's a bad idea. Factually, fact-based. Why is that a bad idea? And then I want to talk about the idea of what we're going to call rushing. Example of floating your Chewpio with Mon Mothma all the time, not always with CLS. Well, I built my team. My Mon Mothma team is built to have Chewpio on the team. Literally, I built the team to work with Chewpio. It's hard to take him away from that team, no matter how good he is in any other team, because I built the Mon Mothma team around him. Pow in the Rebel fighter lineup would be good with the Zeta. He's got the Zeta. I've got the Zeta on Pow. Or are you saying something different? Fall off from the core reserves. Okay, let's see what else we say. This squad must be in this format always. Yeah, well, but it's definitely true, and I like to time teams as well. So if I build a team and I go in here and I pick a squad, and not only do I build the team like my bounty hunters, right? So my bounty hunters are a timed team. And I've put the mods on this team in a way that these bounty hunters go in a certain order. So I'm rarely going to break up this team or do something different. Like what I'll do is I'll take out Boba Fett and I'll put in Moff Gideon. That's the swap on this team. And the team is also timed for that. But beyond that, I'm not going to change this team up. I'm not going to be flexible with this team because I've put too much work into this team actually working exactly like it's supposed to. All right, let's see if we've got a response over here. Recently got C and there's no regrets. Okay, so Justin Blazing, arena-wise, all you will have is the troopers and maybe Vader. Recommend getting a Revan or Gas before you go back to C to have a good backup team. I'll have Padme. So that's why I was interested to talk about it and say, let's hear what you have to say fact-based, because I'm not rushing C. If you were to say, okay, well, I'm just going to build the troopers and build these teams and just, rush the Sith Eternal, then I would say you're right, that it wouldn't be a good move. But if we look at squads over here, I'm going to build these Geos up good enough to get Wat Tambor shards. I'm going to build Padme to at least gear 12. I will take Kenobi all the way to Relic. I'm putting Grandmaster Yoda in this team. So if I'm rushing C, there's no way that I'm building Relic Spy and, potentially relicking Padme, relicking Kenobi when he gets to that level. So what I'm doing is I know that C is going to be my first galactic legend. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and build the trooper team because I know that eventually I'm going to build C as my first galactic legend. So that just says, okay, when you're looking for another team to build, what should you build? Build troopers. It's a requirement, right? These are requirements for C, so put effort in there. If you're going to build your first Rancor team, where are you going to build it? Well, you're going to build it out of the troopers because 3 of them are required anyway, and you're going to build it out of Padme because you're going to have relic characters on this Padme team anyway. So I will have most likely 4 relic for Padme team, and I will most likely have a full relic trooper team before I get C. And to me, that is not a rush. That's just building the account in a way where, like, the 8th team that I get is going to be Sith Eternal Emperor. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope that people don't think that this is a C rush, because it's definitely not a rush. It's just smart account building and paying attention to the requirements in a way where if you're going to sink resources into it, you may as well sink resources into something which is furthering the agenda. So I hope that makes sense. This is the kind of stuff I love talking about because to me there's like a line of logic that goes along with it. Lots of different uses for the same character for you versus Loquitur. Griff is talking about Nabokov. I think the definition of rushing is difficult, going all out on the requirements versus incorporating the requirements along the way. So Glorious G, here's how I would define a rush. It's this simple. You only relic characters that are relevant to that target. So if I'm going to rush a galactic legend, I'm never going to waste a relic until I get that galactic legend. You're still going to need some characters to be built up to some gear level, and maybe you'll even have some other gear 12s. Who knows, right? But to me, the idea of a rush is there's no relic materials going on any character unless it's requirements and then the unlock. So if you're planning to build other teams to relic level before you get to your galactic legend, then to me it's not a rush. So if people need a definition, there you go. I've just created a definition that'll get us started. What's your opinion on Galactic Legend rushing when people say it's not fun? So Galactic Legend rushing is exactly what you want to do if you've got a main account and you start an alt account and you say, well, obviously any new player with a brand new account should do it this way and go straight for Galactic Legend Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. That's how you should play the game, right? And they'll go on that account and they'll play it. And even to the extent when they get the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, they'll be like, see, look, I'm at 1.2 million galactic power. I already have my first Galactic Legend. I'm dominating the squad arena. Like, how can this not be the way to play? What they forget is that they've got their main account. And that's their entertainment on the main account, and all the stuff they're playing in territory wars and territory battles and conquest and all that stuff that they're doing on the main account keeps them occupied. And this alt account is an afterthought that they go to play, and it feels like a lot of fun because they're only messing with it for a few hours a week. For somebody who's brand new to the game and has never played the game before, and they go into that style of build with an alt account, it is boring. Like, really, you're going to start a game and you say, okay, well, 3 hours a week, I play for a half hour a day. I do my daily quests and I'm done. And I just work on these galactic legends until I get them. Okay. And then 8 months from now, I'm going to have the stuff that I need to actually play the game. It's not, I don't know. I think for newer players, that is not a fun way to play. That said, the middle ground is exactly what I recommend. Build your geos. build a Padme team or a Revan team, have some Jedi, whatever. Start playing the game, build up some of this stuff, start having fun, and then your Galactic Legend isn't boring anymore, right? You've got teams to play in Grand Arena, you've got teams to play in Conquest, you've got things that you can try, events that you can unlock, a lot more stuff that you can do over here day to day where you come into the events and you qualify to do the Omega battles because you have these characters, right? So I feel like as a new player, brand new to the game, you should bring some balance to the account, and then you should build a Galactic Legend. So rushing it, the idea of rushing it, that's for players who are building an alt account that aren't going to be bored by doing it that way. All right, I'm getting way behind in the chat now. Wat Tambor shards are earned in the Geo Dark Side territory battle TB. Yeah. The best two Galactic Legends to push for are SLKR and C, but depending on what you want, yeah, they're the most accessible for an early game player, for a new player. They're the most accessible. Rey is not that hard to get, but the Raddus fleet is not that great, and the requirements that you have to build for Rey are not as good as the requirements that you build for SLKR. And then once you build Rey, the team that works best with her is not the team that you built with the requirements. With Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, the team that works best with him you've already built. So that's a bit the difference. Rey is still accessible. If you love Rey, you can still get her. And Jedi Training Rey, I think, is still a good character. Okay. My path towards C is a bit different. It's Geos into Jedi Knight Revan, into Darth Revan, into Malak, into Troopers, Padme, Empire Sith, and then the last bad requirements. Well, that's a longer path. Yeah, and you can certainly... So the idea of getting Malak first. Malak is not a Galactic Legend, but he's one of those characters that's kind of... You've got your Galactic Legends at the top. You've got your normal characters down here. And then you've got this tier of these premium characters that are like so much better than everything else. Malak, Gas, Jedi Knight Luke. I feel like there's maybe one more in there that I'm forgetting. I mean, we wish that Beskar Mando would have ended up in that tier as well, but he didn't. But yeah, so Malak is like not quite a Galactic Legend, but you're getting a character that's at such a high power level that you probably already, are getting ahead of the game and getting way ahead in Squad Arena. Okay, Darth Loquitur, you can use one of the Eternity of... You can only use one for the Eternity of Swigo. What do you choose, Sith tag or Empire tag? Which is the most fun? If you only get to use one for the Eternity of Swigo. You can't choose between those two. They're very different faction tags. I think the Empire with the Troopers, Vader, there's plenty of fun stuff in Empire. The Sith, you got Supreme or Sith Eternal Emperor. So yeah, saying you had to choose between one of those two, I don't know. I couldn't choose. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one I would give up if I had to give them up. I like my Troopers too much because they're so entertaining. But I like the Triumvirate too because they're entertaining. Yep. Can't decide. I'd have to play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo if it ever came down to that. All right. I still need Geo Brood Alpha and Spy. Okay. Takes a lot of patience and commitment for somebody to come into the game. Yeah, it takes patience and commitment, or it takes money. So we just want to direct that and make sure that people are doing that in the right way, that if they want to spend, that they can spend on the right stuff. Relic that Vader. No, I got to save that. I don't have the Negotiator Malevolence, but I'm thinking to relic the Galactic Republic so ships can remain in the top 20. Do it. Yeah, I mean, staying high in fleet placement is really, I think, such a benefit, especially in the early game, because you can get such good rewards out there. You want to be at least top 10, and if you can scratch the top 5, that's good. If you can only be top 20, that's good. But if you start sliding out of that top 20, I mean, I put a relic on spy because I couldn't get in the top 10 anymore, and I feel like I really wanted to stay in the top 10 in fleet. It's just so many crystals every day that you can invest back into your account. The longer Gear 12 Vader stays on the screen, the more anxiety I get. All right, well, let's change that and make sure that you don't have to get anxiety over it. We'll put Vader on the screen, and we'll put the mouse right on the upgrade button. That should reduce your anxiety, I would hope. Therapy. All Gear 12 Geos get Watt shards pretty easily as long as they're modded correctly. Yep, you can do Watt with it. It helps if you put a relic on the Brood Alpha, because then he doesn't die as often to some random stuff. Relic to Geo Brood Alpha and the rest are Gear 12 and complete both the Acklay and Watt. The Acklay mission, in order to do the Acklay mission with Geos, you can do them at Gear 12, it's no problem, but what you have to watch out for in the Acklay mission, your Geo Brood Alpha removes the fury buff, anger buff, what is it? The rage, I don't know. The Acklay gets a buff that you have to remove, and it has to be removed with your Geo Brood Alpha. So you have to have your Geo Brood fast. I don't know, what is it, like 280, 290 speed, something like that minimum on your Geo Brood Alpha in order to be able to cleanly do the Acklay with low Geos. And once you get him fast enough that he gets that cooldown by the time the Acklay gets the buff back on him, then you're good. You can play it that way. All right, let's see. How would you compare this chair to your old one? Well, I compare it much like if you're driving a car that's like 20 years old and it's at the end of its life, and you get a new car. That's what it's like. So my old chair I've had for, I don't know, 10 years. The cylinder on it that adjusts the height is kind of busted. It works most of the time, and some of the time you just like at random suddenly go and find yourself to be much shorter. So it was kind of a rickety old busted chair, and now I've got a new good one. So definitely different. But the chair is hot. It said it was supposed to be cool, but man, this makes my back hot. So I don't know. They didn't live up to every promise. Vulture Droid is king. Why not assault battles focused, or make sure you get early tier 5 chests so you can begin to farm those mods? I feel like early you can do those things, the earlier you'll be able to get relics. So there's definitely some effort that I've put toward conquest, right? The Padme team, the whole idea behind building up the Padme team is a lot about getting this event tier 5 completed here and trying to get a better chest. This one I don't have rebels for, so it's like completed with a full team of rebels. I can't do that. So I got the attacks out of turn, and I got to complete the battle. But I don't have these light side droids, and I don't have rebels, so I'm pretty pathetic on this particular galactic challenge. But yeah, we do that. Now, for assault battles, if you say, well, why wouldn't you build an Empire team to do good in an assault battle? Well, that assault battle comes up once a month, and I'll get to it. I'll build into it. I would rather build the account smartly in the right way, in the right order, than try to force it just for the purpose of getting a better assault battle loot. But that said, there is some value to building a team like that Padme team, or at least a team that's going to do good in conquest and galactic challenges, for sure. Okay, so let's see. Gear 13 Vader. S tier trolling. I got the Vader off the screen now, though. Is it worth it to give C the Zeta ability Deception or Unraveled Destiny? So let's look at that. Make sure we understand. I think I'm actually being baited into a conversation that I don't want to have in the stream, but let's take a look. So Unraveled Destiny. I'm debating this right now. I don't know. So if you have a team with Malik on it, for example, this Zeta is a no-brainer, right? Like C goes first. You're always going to do this first. That gets your Malik taunt right away. You're gonna Zeta this in 5 seconds if you've got a Malik. So yeah, if you got a Malik, or let's say you're gonna do this with Triumvirate, you're gonna use C with Triumvirate, and you've got Scion. Scion's a tank, and you're gonna do this right away, and Scion gets taunt right away, and so yeah, it's definitely worth it. Deception, 100%. This increases the deceived from 1 turn to 2 turns. You've got to get that. You've got to get the 2-turn deceived. You've got to get that so that you can spread deceived all over the enemy team. So out of his Zetas, this is the only one. And, I'm not going to put it on at first. I'm going to see how he plays without it. And I don't know for sure what team I'm going to be using with him most often. But if I do need this, if it makes sense, I'll get it. If it doesn't make sense for me, I won't. Look at my money, guys. Look at this money. Look at this sad, sad state of affairs on my credits. 12 million. Terrible. I haven't been that broke in as long as I can remember. But down here, look, we've got all of the resistance characters now at 85. We got Wicked at 85, and Juhani at 85, and like all the stuff down here, 85. Everything's 85. So I 85'd a lot of characters, and that took a lot of money. It took like 80,000 credits. It's nuts. Nuts how much money I spent on leveling up characters. But it's done. It's done. We're past it. Let's see, what does this say? Do you think it's weird to go for trooper first? For troopers first? Do I think it's weird to go for troopers first? If the first, I'm trying to understand the question. So if you're saying, okay, the very first team that I'm going to build on my account is going to be the Imperial Troopers, you could build that. The Imperial Troopers are actually very good in Squad Arena. They'll climb really high. They'll fall down every night because the AI is bad at playing troopers. But if you did a team of full relic troopers with Veers, Piett, Stark, Gideon, Range Trooper, if you reliced 4 of those characters and put it in Squad Arena on an early shard, you would dominate. That could definitely be a good first squad. Let's see. Let's see what else we got over here in chat. Hey, Loquitur, how hard is your fleet? The fleet on the Loquitur account it goes in steps. So very quickly, my fleet shard developed a group of people who committed to fleet. So probably in this top 20, there is a pretty consistent group of people that know what they're doing in fleets and very quickly built competent fleets. So that's the problem I had. I was getting squeezed out of the top 20 very early in this shard. From there, you've got people from, I don't know, probably the top 14 or so in the fleet have really good fleets. They really know what they're doing. And, take that to the next level where it was hard for me to get into the top 10. And then the top 5, I pretty much can't beat most days. So I got lucky and this guy climbed to number 1 and I'm able to beat him. But these guys that are number 1 on my fleet shard are monstrous. Look at this guy. Full relics on Biston's U-Wing, full relic Han's Falcon, full relic Darth, reinforced with Anakin and Houndstooth. Cassian's U-Wing's already 7 stars. So this guy, I could beat him at first, but once he got this capital ship up and going more and got more skills on the capital ship. I can't beat him now. I can't keep up with this. All this stuff goes first, and they just spray a volley of ammunition at your fleet, and you're just done. This guy's already got negotiator. There's another guy I think that has got to be close to negotiator. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see it. But there's a guy that's got, this guy. He's got Relic Anakin. He's got everything all built out already for his. He's got Rex. He's got a Relic Rex already, Arc 70. So I got to imagine that this guy is very close to the negotiator as well, based on what I've seen from him playing. He's had that fleet up and running for a long time. So I think it's a tough fleet. I think it's a tough fleet shard. All right, let's see. I'm 100% not putting Unraveled Destiny on my C. I got Jedi Knight Revan, so I have Cantina energy that I can spend on things other than the Old Republic. Worth farming Gideon for either Troopers or Vader Squad? It's worth farming Gideon. Gideon is, his demoralized skill is just sick. You can put him with any team. He cuts the opposing team's damage in half. If you're struggling with your Darth Revan counter, you just put in Gideon, make him stupid fast, and everything on the Revan team is doing less than half damage. And it puts you back in the game in a way that you can't without Gideon. So he's a ridiculous character. Two things. Number one, can you Zeta Vader on your free-to-play account? And second, do you think Troopers are a good team to start with? Yeah, we talked about the Troopers already. And yeah, we'll get all the Zetas on Vader. We'll definitely get the Zetas on Vader on the free-to-play account. Relatively new to using Troopers. Who do you recommend as a lead? Veers. Yeah, Veers is the leader for that. Use his leadership and use his passive, and that's how the Troopers work. Would Asajj, Newt, Poggle, Spy, and Soldier be able to beat the Padme event? Anything's able to beat the Padme event at high enough gear. I don't see the mechanics behind that to be able to do it. Asajj clears the buffs, I guess, could reveal Padme. As long as you can find a way to kill Padme first, you can beat the event no problem. The rest of the event is not that hard if you can beat Padme. But if you can't get past Kenobi's taunts to get to Padme, then you lose. Adding Jango Fett into that team solves the problem. Jango is such a strong contributor to the Padme event that can work. In my 4th month, the shard that Whale has C. He puts Imperial Troopers every day for people to climb Squad Arena. Yeah, nice. It's a good way to do things. Our ship shards are similar. I only have around 10 guys who've been efficient, but there's already a negotiator. Yeah, there's often going to be that. There's a lot of people who want to play an alt account, and they start the alt account and they just park it in their guild for a long time, and they collect up enough so that they've almost got the negotiator, and then they start playing the account when they can get the negotiator and just guarantee number one in fleet. So almost every fleet shard is probably going to have one of those negotiators in the first month or two from somebody that just hoarded up currency and just wants to start with the negotiator and dominate fleet. Does my fleet chart have a Discord? Well, I haven't been invited yet, so I'm guessing not. And I don't want to make one. I'm too lazy to make one, so if somebody else makes one and invite me, I'll join. Hi, Darth Loquitur. I just joined. What did I miss? The whole stream. You can go back and watch it. When are you going to build the Phoenix so you can get Thrawn on the Darth Loquitur account? Don't know. It's a good question. I've got shards for Ezra. I've bought a few shards for the other guys, like here and there. Like if you look at Chopper, I've bought him a couple times. If you look at Kanan Jarrus, I've bought him a few times. And where is it? Zeb, I've bought a few times. But I don't know. I don't even. I mean, I've got the Mon Mothma team ready to go. I've got all the Cassian stuff ready to go for Cassian's U-Wing. And if I'm not willing to unlock those guys for galactic power, then I'm not willing to unlock the Phoenix yet either. So it's just kind of a thing where when I have the galactic power to do it, then I will. And again, if the galactic power changes stick and there's huge range on galactic power like they're showing, then at that point it won't matter, and I'll start the Phoenix and start the Thrawn unlock. But Thrawn is not a he's not hard to get, and he's not a hard character to build. So like the characters that I have to farm, I have to start early with. But you know, I can get Thrawn 6 weeks before I'm ready to get C and build him up and get him. Don't remind him of Phoenix, it'll only make him depressed. But I'm smarter now about Phoenix. I know to just build the Phoenix squad and not touch their ships. As long as you build the squad and don't touch the ships, then you don't waste a whole bunch of galactic power on ships that are mediocre. Then it's okay. All right. And he might tell you about his plans for Ezra. Yeah. That's funny. So what I said on stream, for anybody who didn't hear it, I was saying one day that I hate the Phoenix so much that I might actually try to just, build a Relic 7 Ezra and see if I can solo the team with Ezra so that I can just leave the rest of the Phoenix at level 1. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see if you could do that. Just build one Phoenix. I feel like you'd at least have to put something on Hera or Kanan or somebody like that to take a few hits. But, yeah, might be fun. Mata McCurry says, I can confirm that. Don't touch the ships. People always think if you start with Phoenix, you have to build their ships. Yeah. I would ignore a vast majority of light side ships. A lot of ships in the game are just a commitment. Like if you said to yourself, okay, I'm going to build an Empire fleet. Like, what should I do? And you go into ships and you look at Empire fleet and you say, okay, well, I can build Vader. I got him anyway. His tie is a good ship and all this stuff. But what you have to know is that this ship right here is probably the biggest difference with whether or not you have an effective Empire fleet or not. This ship is crazy, right? Like this ability puts buff immunity on the target for 2 turns. This ability gets protection up, gives you survivability. He gets a bunch of extra speed for all your other Empire ships. And then this on target lock gives 25% turn meter. So this kit, like every single skill on this kit is solid. If you want to build an Empire fleet, you got to commit to this ship, which means you got to commit to the Gar Saxon character, which means that you have to commit to the Imperial Super Commando, which are 2 complete garbage characters. And that's the problem with the light side fleet. You just have a lot of ships on light side fleet that, I mean, you don't want to build the characters. Like, where is it? Poe Dameron's X-Wing. Let's look for Poe's X-Wing here. This ship can do crazy damage. This is almost a plug-and-play ship that you just say, okay, I need a ship that does the most amount of damage I can do in one hit. What is it? Oh, here we go, Poe. But unless you're building Rey, Galactic Legend, why would you ever build Poe? Right? Like, why? So that's the issue. That's the issue with a lot of ships, is that the pilots for the ship just don't cut it as characters, and it leaves you with a bad taste about building the characters. On the dark side, on the other hand, with the Geos and a lot of the stuff like that, or right? Like that's a lot of these characters are good characters that you're going to build anyway. Even the TIE pilot for this Imperial TIE fighter, he is not bad as a character, especially early game. He can pull his weight. Of course, the Garsax and the Imperial Trooper combo ain't the best. Um, but yeah, so that's the problem with Fleet. You know, it's and I'll stick to the statement. It's an all or nothing commitment. If you're going to build something in Fleet, build it all the way. Commit to the pilot. Build the pilot at least to Gear 12, or don't start with it at all. So many ships have 3 times pilots. Yeah, that makes it harder too when it's a bunch of pilots. Is the Thrawn capital ship weak? I wrote an essay on the Chimera. So the one thing with Chimera, let's just take a look at Chimera for a second. So between Chimera and Executrix, there's not a ton of difference, right? The fleets play a lot the same. This skill takes away turn meter from your enemies, and Executrix has a skill that gives it. You have an area effect that does damage and some other stuff and debuffs, and you have a basic skill that's pretty lame. The big difference here is the ult. Strategic Dominance has a 4-turn cooldown. It's, I believe, the lowest cooldown for any capital ship in the game. So you come in, you do a skill, a reinforce, you do a skill, you do your second reinforce, and after your second reinforce, you've got this skill that automatically destroys one ship. You pick one of your ships, give it full health, full protection, full turn meter, and then you increase the cooldowns on the enemy capital ship as well. So you get to your ult first, kill one of their ships, get your Vader to go next, and cool down their ult on their capital ship, especially cool down the ult by 1. So the Chimera, in that regard, as a counter, when you're trying to specifically counter something, like if you say, okay, I struggle with the Raddus. There's somebody on my shard that has a Raddus with a whole bunch of reinforcements. This is the kind of ship that would come in, play for a couple turns, destroy the Houndstooth or the Falcon or whatever it is that's giving you problems, and set the Raddus back a turn on that ult. So that's the Chimera. Just it's roughly equal to the Executrix. It's got a much faster and, in my opinion, better ult. But is it worth building a whole capital ship and all of that galactic power and everything that goes along with it for a ship that's slightly better? And that's where I say the answer is no. So don't, if you're early game, don't build it. Once you're at 3 million galactic power, but you probably need another capital ship anyway. So then it makes a lot more sense to build those Phoenix ships and get it once your galactic power is high enough that this really doesn't matter anymore. Otherwise, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it. They start building the Executrix, they come in, they unlock the Chimera, and then they start building the Chimera. It's just a ton of galactic power that's not really putting you over the top. All right. I build all the fleet, says in the Bokov. All right. Well, I'm going to go over and show the fleet on my main account then for just a second, because I think there's literally like one ship in the game that I don't have unlocked. I liked ships early before I knew what was going on. So, yeah, the Emperor's Shuttle I don't have unlocked. The Razor Crest I'm still working on. Malevolence, we've got 125 out of 145. But otherwise, I was building every ship in the game before I knew that was a bad idea. I've even looked at this Gauntlet Starfighter. I've even got it. I've even got it on its last star. So I've still got some ships to build. I'm farming this BTLB slowly, over time. We'll get it eventually. But I'm on a 7-star every ship in the game. I'm going to build every ship. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've almost got the Poe done. The Vulture droid's on the way. Millennium Falcon. Ebon Hawk. Everything. I'm going to 7-star every ship in the game. I don't know. It'll just be my thing. Of course, I mean, it's going to take me another 8 months to get that done, but since I'm already that far along, I'm just going to commit to it and in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Just finish it out. Emperor's Shuttle might be worth it. Yeah, Emperor's Shuttle is a good ship. It's another very good ship. I just haven't. It's just the ship that I haven't started with yet. I think about just about every ship in the game can have use. Where's the IG? I've seen some stuff on the IG 2000, and apparently, if you take this ship all the way and commit to it, and you get this pilot to relic level, it does give the health recovery each turn. It gains 8% offense for debuffed enemies. So over time, this ship continues to grow. The basic on it is not bad, right? It gets 2 attacks against breached enemies. This is a stun that obviously we know that's... It's good to be able to stun things. Sorry about that sneeze. So it's a good kit on this ship, and apparently those recovery mechanics, when you get to relic level, it's really hard to kill. So yeah, I think some of these ships may be underestimated. It's such a squishy ship even at relic level. What am I drinking? Green milk? No, I'm drinking, I don't know, something. I have flavor to add to a drink. I think it's like cherry flavor or something like that. So like if you're supposed to add a packet to 8 ounces of water, I add like half a packet so that the water is just barely flavored. That's the way I like it. Just a touch of flavor in the water. So it's 90% water. So what are we saying about the ships? It makes a huge difference. It gives bounty hunters a lot of survivability. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, the whole idea behind the IG is that you have to have the houndstooth to hide it behind, obviously, and maybe like a reinforcement like Plo or something like that to get it up, get health and protection in the middle, if it needs it, even more so than its recovery. But yeah, my understanding is this is a heck of a ship. Well, if that's the case, then when Razor Crest comes in, suddenly that might look like a much better ship. For anybody who hasn't looked at this kit, this thing is a Swiss Army knife. I think I said that in the stream yesterday. It just has everything that you would want. So it inflicts breach. After 6 breaches, your bounty hunters gain a bunch of stats and speed and offense. If you kill a marked ally, the cooldown of your bounty hunters is reduced by 1. This is insane because he has a mark on his basic and he can work around taunt. You mark the ship, you kill the ship, and you reduce the cooldowns on your other bounty hunters by 1. You're going to get more stuns, more taunts, more everything that you want. While Razor Crest is active, breached enemies do less damage, right? 30% less critical damage. On the basic, we do damage to an enemy and inflict marked, which can't be evaded or resisted. So we just mark people whether they like it or not. Deal physical damage and inflict breach. If it already had breach, do buff immunity. We know that ships with buff immunity are crazy good for fleet, so we have that. Reinforced hull, it starts with a bunch of stacks and it's hard to kill, and the first time it almost gets killed, it gets more reinforced stacks back and gains back a bunch of health. So this ship is going to be really sticky. It's going to make the other bounty hunters ships better. And with that IG having recovery, it's going to make all of this and the houndstooth even harder to kill. So I think your opening 3 is Razor Crest, houndstooth, and Xanadu Blood, right? because the Xanadu Blood has stealth off the bat, so you want that, right? We start the encounter in stealth, and gain stealth whenever we get a critical hit on one of our bounty hunters. So we start with those three. We reinforce with that IG, and that suddenly is looking like a really a solid fleet. And I like this under the endurance, actually, because then your reinforcements come in, do what they need to do. This is going to be a very hard team to kill, and they're going to gain offensive power as you get breaches. As the match goes on, these ships get stronger and stronger, and Razor Crest is cooling down the cooldowns. Slave 1, I mean, it may even be that Razor Crest makes Slave 1 the right choice for the first ship, right? This may be in your opening 3, because if he can cool down by 1 on this skill, on the seismic charge, and you can do that every 2 turns, woo! There's your damage. So I don't know, this definitely demands some playing around with. Dear Inquisitor, can you suggest what is the best lineup with Malevolence? There's a couple different lineups with Malevolence, but I think, to me, the starting 3... Let's just look at Malevolence fleet in here and see what people are doing. So this is typically what you see for the starting 3, is the Sunfac, the Vulture Droid, and the Hyena Bomber. And then typically you see it reinforced with Spy and Soldier, or Spy, sometimes IG, and sometimes Houndstooth if people aren't using the Houndstooth with something else. So basically, bringing in tankier ships that are hard to kill, because the ship itself is going to spawn more Vulture Droids. So you almost want them to have to work on one tank at a time, kill a tank, it gets replaced with a Vulture Droid. You reinforce with a tank, that gets killed, gets replaced with a Vulture Droid. And then you just do insane damage. So that's the typical lineup. You can swap out, some of these ships with different stuff, but Sunfac, Vulture, Hyena, I think, is the standard opening. Razor Crest looks to be a JKR for the Bounty Hunter fleet. Could be. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fleet that the AI is going to be able to play. Because it can mark and because it can assist, I think it's going to be, like you say, like a Jedi Knight Revan style of team for the AI to play. Could Chimera with the Bounty Hunter fleet work better? Work around taunt with the Razor Crest and kill the Taunters with Thrawn's ability? The Bounty Hunter fleet can work with just about any capital ship. They don't really have their own capital ship synergy. So any capital ship you put them with has exactly the advantages of that capital ship. The problem is a lot of these capital ships are already taken up with another fleet. So if you've already got an Empire fleet that uses Thrawn, you wouldn't want to suddenly use a Bounty Hunter fleet and then, maybe your Empire fleet uses Executrix, or maybe you're using a different team with them. So it all depends on what you've got, but basically you stick the Bounty Hunters with the best capital ship that you can afford to spend. I like the Endurance, actually, because I think there's a lot of mechanics for that fleet to stay alive. And if they bring something in that gives your Houndstooth a hard time, and then the Endurance just does that stupid ability where it puts taunt on you anyway. Like if you've got a Houndstooth and they strip the Houndstooth, the taunt off of the Houndstooth, he's going to come in and give 100% protection and put taunt back on the ship anyway. It's so annoying. Like, this ship is pretty terrible capital ship, especially early game, but it does have mechanics that make it more of a timeout kind of a ship. All right. Hey guys, I'm probably going to call the stream now. We've been talking for quite some time and been on for almost 2.5 hours. So we've got two streams that went. The first one that got interrupted, and then the second one. So I do thank you all for coming out to talk. Appreciate all the questions. I like chatting like this. Even without the Grand Arena, it's been fun. Been fun talking to you guys and seeing what comes up. So thank you all. Appreciate it. Smash that like button with your lightsaber on your way out if you haven't done that already. Join us on Discord if there's anybody in here who's not on Discord. And I will see you all in the next hologram.